Welcome back from that break. Glad you're still watching Science Breakfast with me, Alan Hubbard, and sign language interpreter is Gideon Minor. And we are with Professor Ogolla, and we are dissecting what is happening in the country politically. And Prof, yes. The long wait is almost over. Sure. The 27th day is 3 days away from today, and those by-elections are going to be happening. And it has been a heated political battle in Mbere. Seems like there's not any other by-election that is happening in a country yes. except that one that is in Mbere. Of course, we've had words, slangs are being thrown left, right, and center, and the government doing its level best to make sure that they win that particular constituency, and of course the money that is making rounds in bags. What do you make of this by-election? Of course, holistically, but also narrowing down into Mbere.
Yeah, first of all, by-elections have been used before to actually show political muscle. In Kenya, we don't have midterm elections like we have them in other countries. Yeah. So by-election normally gives political parties a chance to
gauge themselves.
Remember, like the one that took place in Kiamba, where Kawanjiko won. Yeah. Yes, the one that Kawanjiko won to give UDA the first MP. It made people believe that UDA was controlling Mount Kenya, and it was a supreme battle between William Ruto and Uhuru Kenyatta on who is the king of the mountain. That time, Gachagua was really supporting William Ruto. How things change and remain the same, you cannot explain. But we shall be going to that discussion just to discuss this again in the context of united opposition and the ruling government at the moment. So they have always been used as a acid test. Remember also Raila Odinga pulled one whereby he resigned as member of parliament on a party, then contested in his own party just to show that I can give my life and again pick it when I want it. Just the way Jesus said, that I lay down my life, then again I pick it when I want it. Because Jesus accepted to be crucified and later he rose again.
It's only a few people who can lay that. It's only a few people who would have that luxury.
Yeah. Raila did it. There's no.
I don't think the president can try
it. You cannot. Yeah. So it's been used like that. And remember that what is so special about this one, this is not just a link to showing political party supremo. Yeah. There are two narratives here, which is called one term, another is called what? Two term. Yeah. So even the voting in Mbere is not about those MPs. Yeah. It's not about the constituents in Mbere. It's about one term versus two term. If you go to Malava, it's about Tawe, which means one term versus two term. Yeah. And also in Mbere, you look at now the example whereby Ruku was the MP, and Ruku takes up the position of Justin Muturi, and then what happens here is that they are trying to get the Justin Muturi's party beat Ruku and Kindiki's and the team plus William Ruto in Mbere. Yeah. This looks quite an interesting one. So that's what's the battle all about. DP, which belongs to William Ruto, belong to Mwai Kibaki. Yeah. I saw some propaganda in social media that Mwai Kibaki was actually speaking that rally. You saw that?
Yeah. Even the freedom fighter.
So Kenyans are amazing. AI brought these guys alive. But actually, virtual reality can actually show some of these things. So Kibaki came up and told them, Kumbafu sana, bure kabisa, and all these things. And you saw even Dedan Kimathi coming up. And so that was interesting one. Actually, humor is important in this world because sometimes life is, you shouldn't take life too serious. Yeah. No one gets out of this life alive anyway. So just enjoy your life. Yeah. When you go the other side in Malava is quite interesting as well. And what's interesting as well is not just the battle between two term and one term. It's also who is the Western Kenya Supremo. Natembeya is trying to show he's one. Yeah. Moses Wetangula is trying to show he has some muscle. And Mudavadi is also trying to show that he also has got muscle.
Yeah, and Mudavadi said if he loses that seat, basically they are losing government.
Yes. So you see, that's interesting. I saw some memes circulating in the social media. Yeah. I don't know if you've ever seen the toilet, whereby when you are going for a washroom, you pull up the upper one,
Yes.
and they showed Moses Wetangula there as a speaker, and where the shit normally go, they show members of parliament. So people have created even all sorts of things to show that. Actually, they were telling Musalia Mudavadi, no, Moses Wetangula, you made a mistake to attack Natembea's car. So it has even gone violent.
Yeah.
It has gone violent, not even to mention what has happened in Kasipul Kabondo,
Absolutely.
where they have been fined 2 million each. And I find that very silly.
Yeah.
You know, when people have killed Kenyans, then you tell them to pay a fine of 1 million each, then they remain eligible for election. They should not be even eligible for election.
Yeah.
If you make someone lose lives, then you give 1 million each to IEBC. But the family that lost have not been given even 50,000.
They have not even been compensated.
Seriously, I don't know how values, my brother. I'm still reflecting about it. But I'm trying to say, generally, there's been this thing of testing ground. So in Kasipul Kabondo, it's not 2-term versus 1-term, but ODM is supporting 2-term. Therefore, it's subtle. It's subtle, but it's not as prominent as these two constituencies of Mbere and Malava. That's why you don't hear too much about Kasipul Kabondo. The Kasipul Kabondo politics is more localized. The Mbere, Malava is more nationalized.
Yeah.
And then the most quiet one is this one of Ugunja, where Opiyo Wandayi is trying to push his cousin, I don't know, nephew, to replace him in Ugunja. But now, let me tell you, these politicians, they try to play with our mindset. In fact, I can tell you, the people of Ugunja, if you can listen to me, don't vote a candidate that somebody is trying to push his nephew to take over from him. These are not dynasties. These are Kenyans who should be serving Kenyans. And the MP seat is not a dynasty. Of course, Magarini, no one cares about it, almost. It's like there's no battle in Magarini there. It's actually very village sort of campaign at the moment. So basically, what is happening in the country is that when this result will be announced, you'll see headlines saying Ruto is 1-term. If the Mbere and Malava is 1. If the MP for the candidate for ODM does not win in Kasipul, they'll say end of an era for ODM. You'll see such kind of headlines flashing around. But now we talk about the issue of money. Do you know the MP suspended the use of the financial bill or act that regulates how much money should be spent, how should be spent during the campaign?
I think it was around 125 or 150 million.
They have refused to enact that legislation. So you can do what you want. What I know is that I told you earlier, these things of dishing money, where we don't discuss more about the ideas, the leadership, and it's more about money and noise and name calling, really is an insult on democracy. And I want to urge our leaders, don't waste time on these things of sloganeering and all these things. Leadership is not about sloganeering. Leadership is about delivering to people. And if you cannot choose a leader based on what they can do, but choose a leader because who can insult more and who can bribe more, then actually, after you have taken these monies in sacks and used insults to elect somebody, you should not talk about development because you cannot look for development when all it was about insults, drama, and entertainment. Like you see somebody dancing like a madman or a mad woman, things that children should not even see in public, then that person makes somebody gets elected. Then after election, then start crying, there's no road. You should just enjoying the dance. You should actually record the clips and play them when you feel
and
bored.
work on them.
Yeah, so that's the problem we have in this country, that we do not really have leadership discussion during elections. It goes haywire. Do you know the person running in Mbere?
He's called Karish something.
But I think you know only about, the main thing is about this 1-term versus 2-term. That
Fire,
one you know.
see fire.
Fire, see fire. So those ones you know.
Yes.
So I'm trying to say.
But the candidate themselves,
You
I've
don't
not
know
even heard them speak.
But have you known their CV?
Oh, one
Have
of them,
you seen highlighting of their CV?
one of them, the CV is not that good.
Yeah, so like now, one of them is known as somebody who has been doing wash, isn't it? So if a ruling party that says they want to take Kenya to Singapore is giving us a candidate that has got all the worst records on accountability governance and the rest, then how can you take us to Singapore using corrupt fellows while Singapore was hanging corrupt people? If you want to go to Singapore, take the flight to Singapore. Don't take the flight to Somalia, isn't it? When you want to take her to Singapore. Don't take the flight to Shakahola while you want to go to Singapore. Singapore flight is corruption-free, value-driven, meritocracy, isn't it? Transparency, accountability. You cannot go to Singapore with wash, isn't it? You can't go to Singapore with the misleading people, the propaganda. You can't. Singapore flights are very clear. So it's a pity. It's a pity, my brother.
I don't know if you could make a prediction, because probably we'll have this conversation again next Monday. With how the battles have been drawn, what are the most likelihood outcomes of these by-elections and their consequences? I know you've touched a little bit about them, but what are the consequences?
First, you have to know that the opposition have done very well to define these two constituencies as one term versus two term. And there's an important thing on branding when it comes to election. For example, remember what will happen for David Cameron of Brexit versus Remain. The word Brexit was so romantic that some people just voted Brexit without knowing the consequences. So the same way, between one term
Remain sounded so vague.
Yes,
So remain, what do you mean remain?
Remain where? So actually, to just analyze that a little bit, people from UK who have never used a passport never saw the need of remaining.
Absolutely.
And people who had jobs don't need a degree never consider remaining, because remaining to do what? And remember, the majority of the people who are voting have never traveled outside UK. Majority, just like in Kenya. If you say remain in EU or remain in
the
AU,
East African community,
or remain in EAC, isn't it? What do they benefit? They don't need to work in Bere, then in Bali. They don't need to work in Arusha. They don't care. So if you tell them, if we don't vote,
can we leave?
Can we leave? They
be
say, let's go. So it was like, which population is bigger and which brand do you choose? So remember, most Kenyans are unhappy with this administration. So when you say one term, that will be bigger. So I can tell you, it boils down to one term versus two term. Though the ruling coalition have tried to brand this more of, development. We gave you a CS, and yes, no, this is now about one term versus two term. Not about development record. Just forget about it. It's not about anything else. Just about that. Let's show you that as it is happening in Mbere, wait for 2027. It's like, this is a rehearsal for 2027.
Gearing up.
So with this matter, I'm sure that the ruling coalition has thrown more money, but Kenyans, even if you go to bed, you still hear one term. One term is more romantic, like two term. Two term, what? But one term is very romantic. In fact, people normally like people to be defeated. So I'm sure one term will win in Mbere, and one term will win in Malava. And the implication is simple. It will make, it will have an impact and a dent on the deputy president, Kindiki, and Ruku as the minister that took over from Justin Muturi. And you'll see opposition doing a major party to show they are winning 2027. So that will show that one term, in spite of not having all the monies, can actually beat two term with the treasury. They have carried the whole central bank to these constituencies, and they're going to be beaten by that central bank. So they'll show people that money do not matter. It's that if people decided to send people home, can send you home. You can use the state machinery, but you still go home. And what my ask is, please, IEBC.
And that was going to be my next question.
Please.
Yes.
Do not mess up, because if you do, you have no reputation so far. To get your reputation, you must conduct this election professionally. By 9 p.m., we want to get the results ready so that we can tell you it is one term. But of course, one term is a slogan. I'm sure that opposition after this should brand themselves better by not discussing too much about one term, but discussing about what they want to do for Kenya. Yeah.
All right. We're going to take another quick break. When we come back, quickly, the presidential State of the Nation address. I know you have a one or two things to say about that.
Yeah.
And is that indeed the president having a roadmap of about 5 trillion Kenyan shillings and taking us to Singapore and removing us from a third world country to a first world country? And with how the country is going currently, is that even in the periphery for us to for us to get there? We're going to be discussing that when we come back.